Good evening, Rams. Welcome to the first show for Humans of CSU. I'm your host, Alyson Tackitt. Tonight, we're going to look at two different clubs that CSU offers, the Alpine Ski Team and Fermentation Club. But first, let's see what CSU students did over the winter break. Hey Rams, this is Alyson here in front of the Morgan Library, and today we are going to be interviewing students and asking them what did they do over winter break. What did you do over winter break?
I guess over winter break I just worked a lot and caught up on my sleep that I lost during college.
I traveled a lot.
Okay, where'd you go?
All over the west coast of the United States, 9 different states.
I went to Todos Santos, Mexico, in Baja California for a semester abroad study program. It was pretty cool.
So I had a really exciting winter break. I stayed in Fort Collins and I worked on campus at the Rec, best place on campus.
Just went home and hung out with my family. I didn't really do much, but my boyfriend came from out of town, so that was nice.
I actually went to Santa Cruz and then hung out in Monterey Bay and then came back to Colorado because that's where my hometown is.
I went to San Diego, California and rode my skateboard with my friends every single day, and it was awesome.
I just did nothing. I just rested at home, read some books. That's about it.
I went to India, Malaysia, and Singapore after I studied abroad in Thailand.
Spent a week in paradise in Maui, Hawaii.
And I saw some old friends, and yeah, we ended the decade off on a high note together. So I have a really strong feeling that 2020 is going to be the best year yet.
Nice! Well, I hope the rest of you were able to get some relaxation over break. One group that has definitely been having some fun this winter season is, of course, the CSU Alpine Ski Club. I'm here with Andrew Mangold from the Alpine Ski Team. So Andrew, what exactly is your position on the ski team?
I'm the president of the ski team, and I'm kind of de facto coach of the men's team, and I also compete for the team as well.
Okay, cool. So how did you get involved with the ski team?
Well, my freshman year I was at the University of Utah, and I skied for them. And then I transferred over here back to close to my home in Colorado, transferred to CSU. And I came into the team, and they're pretty inexperienced as far as people who had racing experience. And then they asked me to become an officer last year, and then at the end of the year, they asked me to take over as president for this year.
Right on. Okay, so what is the division of the ski team exactly?
Yeah, we skied for the Rocky Mountain Conference under the USCSA, so that's the United States Collegiate Skiing Association. And that's because the NCAA only recognizes Division I skiing. So unfortunately that means that there's not Division I or Division II or Division III. So we kind of encapsulate Division II all the way through the club. So talk about ability, diversity, and basically anyone who isn't quite a Division I athlete skis in our conference, in our division, which makes it pretty large also. Okay, so going off of that, how are you guys doing this season? Oh, we just came off of our first competition at Winter Park this previous weekend. We're heading into our second one at Crescent View. Last weekend at Winter Park, we skied great. We have a lot of freshmen this year. We have 9 freshmen. So, with the young team, you always wonder how it's going to turn out the first weekend because you don't really know. You see them in practice and you don't know. But the women's team had the best result I've seen from them in 3 years. We had 3 women placed in the top 30 on Sunday, which is a fantastic result for us. We're not, the powerhouses in our conference are University of Colorado Boulder. So we don't have the size or the training or anything like that to compete with them, but for to have 3 people in the top 30 is awesome. And our men's team has done well too. We have some really fast freshmen, which is great to see also.
Okay, so because I'm very inexperienced about skiing and the competition, all that kind of stuff, so if I showed up at the competition, what do I expect to see?
What we expect to see, we get 2 race runs per event, and we just compete in what we call series and technical events. So giant slalom, we call it GS or slalom. So either day, either one you show up for, there's 2 race runs. In the morning you take a run, and it's timed, and everybody has to complete the course. If you don't complete the course properly, you're disqualified, so your result doesn't count. So you get 2 race runs, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then it's combined time from the 2 runs. And the course is different for each run also. So you would basically see, racers coming down a course one at a time, 40 seconds apart or so, depending on the interval. And then, best time wins. So.
Okay, cool. So where are your guys' competitions at?
So we just came from River Park, we're heading to Crescent View, and then we also go to Telluride, Powderhorn, Pogadon, which is in Casper, Wyoming, and then our regional championships this year are in Bowie Space in Idaho.
So you guys are definitely traveling for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year we went regional championships in Red Lodge, Montana. So if you know, we've been on the team for 2 years, we've skied in like 4 different states. So I think it's really cool. It's kind of what you grow up doing too. You grow up skiing everywhere, traveling all over, and our conference is lucky we get to go to really cool skiing destinations, regardless of ski racing. For instance, like Crescent View, we're super excited to do like free skiing after we race. Like we've already planned it out, which is like a big part of our team also.
Yeah, definitely sounds competitive. So what is your guys' practice schedule at?
We practice at Eldora. We train every weekday morning, Tuesday through Friday at Eldora in the mornings in the spring semester. It's optional because unfortunately, we're not recognized by the school as an NCAA sport, which is okay. So it's kind of just, can you fit your schedule in there? You can go. But in the fall, we try to do some events, and over winter break, we try to get some of our athletes to go to world races, things like that. But our season is so rapid fire, there's not a whole lot we do that's regularly scheduled. Like in the fall, we do dry lands, we do a couple ski days together, but our schedule is really just hop in and go. So.
Right, okay, so if someone wanted to sign up to be a part of the ski team, how do they go about doing that?
Well, in the fall, we have informational sessions, and we ask for people to show their interest early because we do a lot of our fundraising in the fall. So once they show interest, once we get them going, right around October, we kind of make a determination: are you in or you out? And it's if someone wants to join the team, I would recommend they have interest in the sport. It's always really important. Like it's one thing to be really excited about skiing, and it's another thing to be really excited about ski racing. So someone needs to develop that interest in the sport and be an excellent skier in the first place, and then think about, hey, like I want to join the team. You got to reach out to us. It's a big commitment. We want to see people be really interested in it.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of the season.
I got a creak in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. I don't know what else to get on. All that I could do was remember I usually say no, but if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
Welcome back from the break. If you like snow, competition, and the great outdoors, then this is the team that is a great choice for you. So today I have 2 members of the ski team. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Andrew Mangold. I'm the president of the CSU ski team.
I'm Lauren, and I'm the vice president of the ski team.
Nice. Okay, so can you guys show me the gear that you guys brought that you use for competition? Explain exactly like what it is that you guys use.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess you really can't start without skis. So here, Lauren, can you pass me those? So these are a set of slalom skis. They're a little shorter. They're 165 centimeters. GS, we use longer skis. I use 190 centimeter GS skis. Women tend to use a little bit shorter. It starts with the skis, obviously. They're hard metal, metal core, everything. They're heavy. These are probably at least 20 pounds. And so, it starts with the skis. That's most important. We spend hours working on our skis, but kind of builds from the ground up, the snow up. So then, Lauren, you can talk about your boots there.
Okay, so then these are the ski boots. They're pretty heavy too compared to a normal ski boot. They have a pretty high flex, which helps get more power to the ski. so that you can arc the ski. And they're not the most comfortable, but they ski fast.
Yeah, and then of course, like the main part of ski racing, toss here. The main part of ski racing is going fast. So, you have to be aerodynamic with everything. So that kind of brings us to the next thing, which is a speed suit.
It's a suit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, so you kind of have to, jam yourself in these. So, if you like, tight fabric and nylon, we're the team for you. Yeah, so it's all about being skin tight and, reducing any sort of air resistance.
I'm just so curious.
Go for it.
Oh my, everything I feel like is so heavy. Is it? Like, the boots, the skis, the suit, like, I feel like everything's just, like, so heavy. Like, does that have any, I guess, benefit for, like, when you are skiing is to be, like, heavy? Heavy stuff? I'm not exactly sure. I've never skied a day in my life, even though I live in Colorado. How embarrassing. But either way, I have no idea. So can you kind of go more into that a little bit?
Yeah, I think just, like, the reason everything is so heavy and, like, sturdy, I think, is because we put so much force on the ski. On all of our equipment. Like, Lauren actually broke her boots because she was skiing too hard on them.
So they're duct taped.
Yeah. So I think everything we wear. This is like half of the stuff we wear. Okay. But everything is designed to hold up with high speed, but also a lot of force. So I think that. Yeah, you kind of get used to it though. It's a lot of stuff. It's kind of like, it's like more than football. Like you're wearing so much stuff, but you get used to it after a while. So.
Okay, so like, can you tell me what is the preparation that you do before a competition?
Yeah, so before race, we're in training days. We're going up to Eldora, which is where we train. So that's kind of like the practice side of it. But race day, you have to go and inspect the course. So that's kind of like you get to go preview, you get to go look at it. And then, you do your warm-up, whatever that is. And we actually work with people to work on our warm-ups, are we doing the right things? And then it comes to your race run. It's just making sure you're loose. And it's really kind of a mental sport too, because it's really individual. You're the only one on the course at that time. So, you need to be confident when you leave the start gate. So that's really, I think for me, that's the most important part. Yeah.
Okay. So can you guys tell me, how did you get started in competition skiing?
So I started pretty late in comparison to a lot of other people. I started in high school, and I actually just started because cheer didn't work out. So I was like, oh, I'll join another sport, and then I found out how fun it was, and I started off being pretty slow. I was at the back of the pack, so I got really determined to work hard, and you can progress if you put the work into it. So it was just super fun. So I've just, over the years, gotten a lot more into it.
Okay, and what about you?
Well, my dad skied Division I at New England College, so it's always since I was a little kid. I remember being 1 year old, just about to turn 2. My dad was putting me on skis, so it's always been what I've done. And then as soon as I was 5 or 6, I was I want to start racing. I want to start competing. So it's been what I've always done. And then ski racing is a really, really, really competitive sport at a really young age. So by the time I got to high school, I was I don't know if I want to do it anymore. So I actually kind of wavered on the sport for a couple of years, and then I started skiing for Evergreen High School, which me and Lauren actually both skied for in high school. So we started skiing for them, and I was kind of fell back in love with the sport. And then once I was looking at places to go for college, I was I gotta find somewhere where I can ski.
Right,
so.
Right. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about the history of the skiing competitions?
Yeah, so at CSU, it's a long history. Skiing at CSU has been around in some form or another for probably 70 plus years. It's been around for a really long time. And skiing at, they actually used to have a Division I team back in the day, so 50s and 60s, and that's really cool. And in the 80s is when the Alpine Ski team was truly born, and then it became kind of its own thing. And then unfortunately, as with most sports, most smaller sports, the NCAA, the Division I football, basketball, all that kind of stuff, kind of puts it on the back burner. So now it's become kind of a club sport, which is great though, because it's been a club sport for quite a while here at CSU. And even our scholarship donor is a CSU ski team alumni when it was a club team. So, I think that's really awesome that it's kind of transformed and stuck around at CSU, especially, in Colorado, such a big ski racing state.
Okay, so Lauren, can you tell me what is a good time for competition skiing?
Winter, of course, but generally, so for our team, we have a shorter season than a lot of the FIS racers, but so our team starts the last weekend of winter break, and then we go 5 in-season races, and then the weekend after that we have regionals, and then if we make it to nationals, that's the weekend after. So that stretch, but then we start training as soon as the mountains open up. So they open August, November-ish, or not August, October, sorry, October, November-ish. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so if somebody wanted to join the club, how do they go about doing that?
So in like September around that time, we have informational sessions, and anyone can join as long as you have advanced skiing ability. We prefer if you've like had ski racing experience before. That's always preferable. But I think myself and everyone on the team included thinks that ski racing is really such a awesome sport that we'd love to teach. And as long as you're a really good skier and you have a passion to learn something new, you're always welcome on the team. But as long as you're like motivated, and you have to be willing to be a team player, even though it is an individual sport. I think that our team is like, we travel together, we travel so much, and it is kind of this rapid fire season. I think it's really fun to, be around each other like that. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with me tonight. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you guys for the rest of the season.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Rams, don't go anywhere, because after this, we have a brand new club on campus that I can't wait to share with you guys.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I am right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Will I be so evil though it might be all I take? Show me love, show me love, show me love. I got a creak in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex them. I don't know what else to get on. It's very sad when we're alone. All that I can do was remember you. And now I use the same now, but if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
Hey Rams, welcome back to the show. Joining us is a brand new club at CSU, from fermentation to table. I am here with Leo, Kevin, and Conley. How are you guys today?
Good.
So can you guys explain to me what is your position on the team? Or the club, I'm sorry.
So I'm the president.
I'm the vice president.
And I am the food day director.
Okay, there you go. So I saw that you guys brought us some, I guess, examples of what you guys do in the club. Can you guys tell me what is what here?
All right, so this one over here is preserved lemons. And so that'll be used more so not to eat by itself, but to be cooking with. This one on the left is mead, and that's a vanilla macadamia nut. And the one in the middle is actually Kevin's.
Yeah, the one in the middle is just honey and garlic mixed together. And it ferments by itself, and it tastes great. You can marinate things with it and put it into things.
Right on. So can you guys tell me what exactly is fermentation?
It's actually kind of hard to pinpoint an exact definition on what fermentation is, but at least for our club, basically the definition is going to be using microorganisms to act on a substrate to produce a different product. So in these examples, We couldn't tell you microbes, but obviously the lemons would be the substrate, and we're changing it into something different, either something more tasty, different flavors, just kind of messing with the flavor profile of the food.
Okay, so where do you guys fermentate at?
So we actually do this at Gifford or at home.
Yep.
So for the club, we're going to be trying to do this at Gifford. There is a kitchen on the second floor. So we're trying to actually organize it so we can use that room every month. Other than that, I mean, I made both those at home. I'm
Okay.
sure he made his garlic
Yeah,
honey
mine
at
too.
home. Like,
Okay, you're right. Okay, so what got you guys into fermentation?
well, for me, I was in the military, didn't know what I wanted to do, saw an article on making beer at CSU, decided to go for that, and then when I went through the initial courses and we started making foods, I thought that was interesting, so I wanted to do that instead.
Okay, and then what about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I was also in the military. I didn't really know what to do after, so I was looking at programs, and I really want to be a chef. So fermentation kind of fell into that niche, just messing with flavors and different preservatives and things like that.
Okay, and then you?
I was not in the military, but I did work. I have worked in food restaurants for almost 10 years now, and that kind of helped me decide to choose to be a fermenter. I was a mechanical engineer, and then I kind of, after I realized food was kind of my passion, I was like, this could be something I could be interested in.
Well, I totally understand. I mean, hello, food.
Right, exactly.
So when you guys are fermentating, how do you know like when it's done, when you can actually consume these products?
It always depends on the product.
I would say, honestly, you kind of don't. The thing with fermentation is, luckily we study it, so we kind of know all the different, we call them hurdles. So basically it's just kind of something to select the bacteria that you want, rather than, some other random bacteria that's going to get you sick.
Okay. Okay, so what is the history on fermentation? Does anybody know?
I mean, there's a long history with that, honestly. I'm not going to go too depth into it, but a lot of it actually stems from Louis Pasteur, pasteurization, stuff like that. But back then, they honestly thought that fermentation was just only the conversion of glucose or sugar into alcohol. And it slowly changed over time. It then went on to be any metabolic process that was converting carbs into another substrate or in energy. And then later on, it went to a metabolic process that was using enzymes to convert one thing into another. Whether or not they ate that or used it as energy, like one of the things we made in class was called amazaki, and it's rice with koji, and this koji is a mold, and what it does is releases amylase, which breaks down the polysaccharides in the rice, and then we eat it before it can eat it, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you think that this club will be good at CSU? Or I guess it already is a club, but like, why did you guys think that CSU would benefit from this club?
Well, because we're, in the fermentation program with that, and right now, we're all people who want to focus more so on the food side, and the school focuses more on the beverage side. So we're trying to get people who are in this program and hoping for more food to be able to actually join us and get more of that experience with it, whereas right now it's a lot of brewing.
Okay, so going off of that, what are like the core values of the club?
We want it to be an open club, so with that...
Inclusiveness, I think, would definitely be one of them. Obviously, fermentation is super new. It has a lot to do with a lot of different things, and we just want to kind of explore that and, I guess, teach as many people as possible, just to kind of help our own industry.
Yeah, and also learn from other ones too. So we actually, instead of using a fermentation professor as our advisor, we pick someone in microbiome because we want to be able to utilize their stuff and learn from them and how to do tests on our ferments. So we can learn like what microbes are in this other than the ones that we know are in there, or like what they might be doing to make other beneficial compounds.
Okay, so this might sound kind of crazy, but you know how they have like cooking competitions and like bake and all that kind of stuff? Like, is there like a fermentation like competition, or like how does that work, or is that even a thing?
I mean, we could set one up. But I mean, there's like brewing competitions and stuff like that.
GABF for beer. I'm sure there's probably smaller ones
like cheese making competitions and stuff.
Yeah, so you could probably find major, or I guess more popular ferments like cheese, yogurt, kind of things like that. But I think the lesser known ones like natto or tempeh you might not find, especially in America, just because we kind of have our own
different
going
culture.
On here.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is like, what besides like what we have right here, what can you, I guess, fermentate?
You can really ferment anything. I mean, you can pickle pretty much anything, but it's been thousands of years that people have been preserving foods that they can't grow in certain seasons with fermentation just to be able to survive. So we're trying to get those cultural aspects into our club as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so if somebody wanted to join the club, how do they go about doing that?
So for joining the club, it's pretty easy, honestly. If you have an interest in learning about fermentation, you're welcome in it. You don't need to know anything prior to that. We want it to be open because we want to teach people because we think this is an awesome thing to do.
Ever.
Yeah, we think it's fun. Like,
right.
look at this, I can take sugar and make alcohol. Awesome. Like,
not to nerd
or I can
out,
make something that tastes different. But if people really want to do it, we have like a Facebook. If people look up From Ferm to Table at CSU, like they'll find that. There's an Instagram for it. Or if they look it up on Ramlink, which is probably the easiest option, they can actually say, hey, I'm interested in this, and then that'll send me an email, and I can actually add them to the club and let them know when we're having our next meetings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it, and I hope the best of luck to you guys and your new club.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, Rams, that's all we have for tonight's show. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7 for the first Thursday newscast. I am your host, Alyson Tackitt, and have a great night, Rams.